Alright, it's list season. Gonna be doing this pretty quick, just have 3 lists that I'm going to be bringing to you guys, and we will be starting off with this one. Ironically though, I'm actually filming this video after the videos I filmed for my next 2 lists. I just felt like this one deserved to go first, so it's going to get uploaded first. Either way, yes, this list is every single Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 from 2019, ranked in my opinion from worst to best. I've done this list 2 years in a row, let's make it 3 now, and honestly crafting this list was pretty interesting compared to the last 2 years. For starters, in 2019 there were 62 tracks that made it into the top 10, which was down from the 77 that made it to the top 10 last year. You could probably blame that on the fact that there weren't as many big album bombs this year, and that's probably what contributed to my ideology that this year was kind of boring in terms of popular music. But I have to say, as much as I say that and as much as I still stand by it, when I was going back to make this list and to re-listen to a lot of songs, I actually found a lot of tracks that I really loved this year. In fact, I'm pretty sure more than half of this list features tracks that I really love. You guys know I've separated it into several categories: the tracks that I hated, the tracks I didn't like, the tracks I thought were okay, the tracks that I liked, and the tracks that I loved. It turns out that more than half of this list was tracks that I loved. There was a lot that I slept on this year, and ultimately looking back, it was a pretty good year for pop music. There wasn't really a whole lot of hideous stuff. It's more so that this year was just unexciting because it felt like some of this kind of just slipped through the cracks until pretty late. And again, maybe it's because there was so much less compared to last year that it felt so unexciting. Or maybe it was just that Old Town Road was at number 1 for so long that it felt like so many would-be top 10 songs just couldn't make it. I don't know, but regardless, let's just get into the list. And unlike last year, I'm not going to talk for very long about these songs. I feel like I kind of blabbered on and kind of played around a little bit last year. This time I'm going to try to sum up my thoughts in about a sentence, maybe 2, just because this video might be hellish to edit, so I just want to get through my thoughts as quick as possible. And again, I want to remind you guys, this list is all just my opinion, and there are some unpopular opinions on this list. There are some tracks I really loved that I know some people genuinely didn't. There might be some tracks I disliked that people really liked. That's just how it is in the music world. So this is all just my opinion. You guys can chime in with your thoughts in the comments. Again, as I always say, let's just keep it civil and have some fun. And let's get into my list. We're gonna start with the tracks that I hated this year. At number 62, Ransom by Lil Tecca is a track that is so unbelievably devoid of personality, character, and anything even remotely sticky or catchy that I'm still kind of questioning how it got to the top 10. Memes, TikTok, I don't know, but it's not a track that I really like. At number 61, Drip Too Hard by Lil Baby and Gunna is still boring, auto-tuned Young Thug cloning gunk. And at number 60, we have Tatiana by Blueface. I'll be honest with you, this song just bored the hell out of me. I'm not opposed to someone doing something different like Blueface did with the whole rapping out of time thing, but no matter how many remixes you threw at me of the song, I was just bored as hell. Yeah, that's all I really hated this year. So let's just move on to the tracks that I didn't like. At number 59, with You Need to Calm Down by Taylor Swift, I think that there were some hearts in the right place with this track, and the instrumental is really good, but if Taylor is trying to show that she is an ally to the LGBTQ+ community, I think comparing online scrutinizing of her as a celebrity to systematic oppression of a whole community is kind of tone deaf. And at number 58, I've got 7 Rings by Ariana Grande. I'll be honest, it's definitely not that bad, but it's a weird track that doesn't really play to Ariana's vocal charm all that much, with the only really fun part to me being the rapid fire flow that she has on the bridge. And honestly, the song sounded a little bit worse in the context of the album that it came from too. Again, that's really all that I disliked, so let's just jump into the tracks that I thought were just okay. Coming in at number 57 is East Side by Benny Blanco, Halsey, and Khalid. There's a nice bounce to the beat on this one, but it's just some basic radio fluff with decent vocal interplay from Halsey and Khalid. And number 56 is Please Me by Cardi B and Bruno Mars, which has a kind of catchy chorus that I found myself laughing at and enjoying for much of the year. And there's some nice sensual R&B jams here, but this song pales in comparison to what Cardi and Bruno did last year with Finesse. At number 55, we have ZZ by Kodak Black featuring Travis Scott and Offset. I'll say it again, this song would be great and it would be way higher on this list if Kodak Black was not on it. To me, he ruins the song. At number 54, I have Wow by Post Malone, which has some decent bounce and some rather fun moments, but to me just isn't one of Post's better singles, especially compared to many of the ones that came from this new album, which we'll get into later. At number 53, we have No Guidance by Chris Brown featuring Drake. I'm glad these two ended their beef, and there are some good things to the instrumental here, but in terms of the vocals, I just feel like Drake steals the show while Chris Brown just feels kind of underwhelming to me. At number 52, I honestly have to go with Memory Memories by Maroon 5. I get the impression that I like this more than others, and I get why people didn't like it. It's sentimental, bland, and blatantly unoriginal, but it just kind of got stuck in my head, and I didn't mind that, and I thought the emotional feel of it wasn't too bad. Don't worry, when it comes to unpopular Maroon 5 opinions, we'll get into a different one later on. Now, for numbers 51 through 48, these are all Christmas songs. I generally have held the opinion that Christmas songs to me are only really good when it is Christmas time, and even then I'm not a big fan of Christmas tracks, so these tracks to me were just kind of okay. I did try to arrange them in some way though, so here's how I did it. Number 51 is Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee. Number 50 is Holly Jolly Christmas by Burl Ives. Number 49 is All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. And number 48 is Jingle Bell Rock by Bobby Helms. That's the most discussion you'll get out of me about the Christmas carols. At number 47, I have to go with 10,000 Hours by Dan and Shay and Justin Bieber. I didn't think this was bad as some people did, but I think it is just kind of standard country radio stuff with a few good vocals, though I could actually kind of see it growing on me if I give it a few more listens. At number 46, the jury's still out on Dance Monkey by Tones and I. The piano-built dance instrumental has some good bounce, and while Tones and I's vocals are kind of weird, I actually think they're interesting, but I didn't get enough time to listen to the song, so I need to give it like maybe a few more listens before I could really put it higher or lower. So those were the okay tracks. Now these are the ones that I liked. Maybe not loved, they might have had something holding them back a bit, but I did still enjoy them. For number 45, I'm gonna go with Homicide by Logic featuring Eminem, one of the few genuinely good tracks to come out of Logic this year. For once, the rapid fire flows really worked. Eminem steals the show. I love Chris D'Elia's little bit at the end, even if it was just a sample. I could have put it higher, but I kind of just got more and more tired of Logic as the year went on, but this track is still pretty good. At number 44, I honestly have to go with Roxanne by Arizona Zervas, which oddly is growing on me. It does have the feeling of a Post Malone demo, but the beat goes kind of hard, the chorus is too damn catchy, and for a track that really got popular off TikTok, you could do way worse than this. It's actually pretty good. At number 43, this is going to be a huge unpopular opinion, but I'm going to go with I Don't Care by Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber. I don't know, this one just hooked me in. It was solidly catchy, I liked Ed's vocals, Justin's were fine throughout the song, and while there are definitely cuts off of Ed's latest album that I wish charted higher, like Beautiful People, this was still pretty good and I still enjoyed it throughout the year. Keeping with the unpopular opinions, at number 42, I'm going to go with Someone You Loved by Louis Capaldi. Yes, this song sounds similar to a lot of things that you could hear on the radio today. I immediately heard it and thought of Dancing on My Own by Callum Scott. But I do think it is a nice track, and as much as his vocals on the song got memed, I do think they have an emotional feel that fits the track nicely, and it feels like there's some good passion here at least. At number 41, I'm gonna go with Good as Hell by Lizzo. Maybe not totally for me, but Lizzo does come through with a very entertaining performance here, and the piano instrumental is solid as well. At number 40, I am definitely gonna say Lose You to Love Me by Selena Gomez. I love her raw vocals and the beautiful emotional vibe here, but I'm just not all that crazy about the chorus. I think it's a little clunky and could have been worked out, but I could tell this was deeply personal for Selena, and she still did a very good job with it. At number 39, I'm gonna go with Truth Hurts by Lizzo. It's got an entertaining instrumental. There were plenty of quotables from it that kept ringing off throughout the year. Lizzo herself is charismatic, but it's just not a song I come back to all that much. Maybe it's just not for me, but it is still pretty good. At number 38, I'm gonna say Highest in the Room by Travis Scott. Not quite as twisty as some of Travis's best, but the wavy vibes are still there. I still wish it built up to something a little more near the end, but this one has definitely grown on me and could continue to in the future. And at number 37, I'm gonna go with Bandit by Juice WRLD featuring Youngboy Never Broke Again. Juice WRLD came correct on this one. His vocals and flow were pretty fire up against the dark beat. I feel like the only thing holding it back for me is that I'm not totally crazy about Youngboy Never Broke Again's verse. It could grow on me a little bit, but still, I definitely enjoyed Juice WRLD's part of it. R.I.P. Juice WRLD. And now let's get into the many tracks that I loved this year. Again, there was a lot that I slept on, a lot that really grew on me late in the year, so buckle up because we've got a lot here to talk about. At number 36, I'm gonna go with Goodbyes by Post Malone featuring Young Thug. Post kills it with his vocals on this song, and the hazy vibes work really well. I know Young Thug's vocals were kind of like memed throughout the year, but I actually don't hate them. I think that as goofy as they are, they don't take away from my enjoyment of the song because they don't last all that long. At number 35, I'm definitely gonna say Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish. This was definitely a grower. It took a few listens, but I love the emotional vibe of it. The beat is minimal but catchy. Billie's trademark style works well along with the subject matter, and that filter when she says her head was underwater and it sounds like she's underwater, I love that. At number 34, I'm gonna go with Suge by DaBaby. The pianos on this are so bouncy. DaBaby's flows are catchy as hell. I didn't totally make a whole lot out of this when it first came out, but man, it is fire. At number 33, I'm gonna go with Better Now by Post Malone. I didn't get a ton of replayability out of this track throughout the year, especially in comparison to some of Post's other songs, but it was one that I did continue to enjoy when I did listen to it. At number 32, I'm gonna go with Follow God by Kanye West, one of the few tracks off Jesus is King that actually shows Kanye in good form. A great sampling on the instrumental, some bouncy, fantastic flows. It's a short track, but one that is very, very satisfying. At number 31, I'm gonna say Lover by Taylor Swift, a big heel turn from her previous singles, but this is a genuinely beautiful love song that I can honestly see being a staple at many weddings in the future. At number 30, I'm gonna go with Money in the Grave by Drake and Rick Ross. The beat goes pretty hard on this one, there's good dark vibes to it, and Drake and Rick Ross's flows are just fire. They sound great on this one. I actually really enjoyed it. At number 29, I'm honestly gonna go with Boy With Love by BTS featuring Halsey. I really slept on this track. I think the instrumentals mix so many bright elements really well. The boys have so much charisma, and I think Halsey contributes a nice bit on this one too. At number 28, definitely gonna go with Lucid Dreams by Juice WRLD. This grew on me a lot since last year, and the crazy thing is, it's not even one of my favorite songs from him. I didn't even really like his latest record, Death Race for Love, but there are some tracks on there that are even better than this. But this song is still great, and once again, RIP Juice WRLD, gone far too soon. You will be missed. At number 27, I'm gonna go with Without Me by Halsey. I wasn't really bumping this as much as some of the other tracks on this list, but I did really enjoy it in comparison to a lot of Halsey's other tracks, and it was one that definitely still felt emotional and just really great. At number 26, I'm gonna go with the very addictive track Sweet But Psycho by Ava Max. I feel like I shouldn't love this, but I do. The chorus is so catchy, the electronic production is so banging, Ava's vocals are amazing. I don't know, this one hooked me in. At number 25, I'm gonna say Sucker by the Jonas Brothers. It's a groovy, intoxicating track that modernizes the Jonas Brothers really well, and honestly, it's one that I enjoy more and more as I go back to listen to it. At number 24, gonna say Dancing with a Stranger by Sam Smith and Normani. I really slept on this song. Sam's vocals are perfect against the electronic instrumentals. They have amazing chemistry with Normani, and she also sounds amazing here. It's just an awesome track. At number 23, I'm gonna go with Boyfriend by Ariana Grande and Social House. Ariana sounds right at home against Social House's hazy production here, and I think even Mikey and Scooty have some good chemistry with her throughout this one as well. At number 22, I'm gonna go with Me by Taylor Swift featuring Brendan Urie. Is it cheesy and over the top? Yes, but that's the point. That's what makes it so fun. It's another song that I enjoy more and more as I listen to it. It's just fun. It's good to let loose and not take the song seriously and just enjoy it for that. At number 21, I'm gonna go with Break Up With Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored by Ariana Grande. The name is still strange on this one, but damn, does that beat hit and does Ariana kill it with her vocals. At number 20, I'm gonna go with Shallow by Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. This one didn't get as many replays out of me this year as some of the other tracks here, but it still did hit pretty hard when I heard it, and it had a great emotional feel that I love. At number 19, definitely gonna go with Middle Child by J. Cole, one of the better Cole tracks that I've heard in a while. I love the banging production, Cole's great flows, and his interesting lyrical themes about being a literal middle child in hip-hop. At number 18, I'm gonna go with Happier by Marshmello and Bastille. This really grew on me compared to last year. I wasn't 100% into it when I first heard it, but it's just become so intoxicating, and I've gone back to it so many times this year. At number 17 is High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. I continue to get a lot of longevity out of this track compared to last year. It's still great, pumping and emphatic, and it just hasn't gotten boring for me yet. I still love it. At number 16, I'm gonna go with If I Can't Have You by Shawn Mendes. Shawn continues into the punchier direction from his last album with a song that to me is unbelievably catchy and features some of Shawn's best vocals to date. At number 15, gonna say Better by Khalid, another song that got better as I heard it more. I think Khalid just oozes charisma on this track. The punchy and emotional beat is great. Definitely one of the highlights of that record. At number 14, I'm gonna go with Take What You Want by Post Malone featuring Ozzy Osbourne and Travis Scott. How did Post and his team manage to craft an excellent hazy mix of metal and hip-hop, get Ozzy Osbourne and Travis Scott on it, and somehow make it amazing? I don't know, but damn, this dude knows how to make some hits. At number 13, as recent as this song was on the chart, it was a late year entry that still managed to get this high. I'm gonna go with Futsal Shuffle 2020 by Lil Uzi Vert, an earwormy blend of upbeat EDM and hip-hop that honestly, after a few decent but not amazing singles, finally got me excited to hear what Eternal Atake has to offer. At number 12, I'm gonna go with Going Bad by Meek Mill featuring Drake, another one that just kept on spinning for me. I loved it when I first heard it, and it grew on me even more the more that I heard it. Really nice stuff. At number 11, I'm gonna go with Sunflower by Post Malone and Sway Lee. I felt like I couldn't get away from this song, but I wasn't too upset about it, as it really grew on me a lot compared to last year. I wasn't totally sure what to think when I first heard it, but as time moved on and I heard it more and more, I ended up really loving it. At number 10, I am gonna go with Talk by Khalid. I know that his latest album wasn't the most loved thing in the world, but Talk is a great piece of old school R&B that I honestly just cannot get enough of. I love the vocals, I love the instrumental. This track is just amazing in so many ways. At number 9, definitely gonna go with Bad Guy by Billie Eilish, one of the most dark, creative, and freaky pop tracks that I've heard in a long time. The Justin Bieber remix is pretty bad, but the original version is pretty amazing. At number 8, I am gonna go with Old Town Road by Lil Nas X featuring Billy Ray Cyrus in some versions. I get it, the song was played to hell, but oddly it was just too catchy and too fun for me. One of the few examples of a meme rap sort of song that really works. Speaking of Nas, number 7 on this list is gonna be Panini by Lil Nas X. I genuinely think this is even better than Old Town Road, with catchier, stronger production and even more memorable melodies. It just seems like, as I say so much, Lil Nas X has mastered the fine art of just not doing too much and not taking himself overly seriously. At number 6, I'm gonna go with Circles by Post Malone. He just has this strange knack for making these super catchy and intoxicating pop hits. Even with all the jokes about his vibrato, the chorus on the song is contagious. His vocals are awesome. It's a great, nice, mellow, emotional vibe. At number 5, I'm definitely gonna say Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. I love this track when it came out last year, but it really grew on me, especially after listening to the album that it is attached to. Ariana had an amazing 2019, and this track, along with the album that it was part of, were a big reason why. At number 4, big unpopular opinion, I'm gonna say Girls Like You by Maroon 5 featuring Cardi B. Yes, believe it or not, this got a lot of spins out of me this year, and I was okay with that. It was a track I kept coming back to more and more, and I know Maroon 5 isn't totally original, but I'm gonna be honest, this was probably the only good song off of Red Pill Blues, Maroon 5's latest album, and honestly, Cardi's verse doesn't bother me. Yeah, I just really like the song. Maybe another unpopular opinion, but at number 3, I'm honestly gonna go with Señorita by Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. I genuinely love this. It's a contagious track. I really enjoy Shawn and Camila's vocal chemistry. It was something that was fresh, and for me, with how boring this year was in terms of music, something I really needed. At number 2, it's kind of sad that this track is so high on this list, and it should show how unexciting this year was. But I'm gonna go with Sicko Mode by Travis Scott, not featuring Drake, but he's here, and so is Sway Lee, and so many others. Yeah, this again just stuck with me a lot more than some of the other hits that came out this year. It kept getting spins. I really loved it. Travis did an amazing job with this. The beat switches are crazy. I've bragged about this song a lot, and I just genuinely love it. And the number 1 Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 of 2019 to me. I know this song is pretty recent, so some people might be surprised at this, but screw it. With how unexciting this year was, I needed a song like this to get me excited. It is Heartless by The Weeknd, a Metro Boomin produced banger with a hard-hitting beat, great switch-ups between smooth flows and sticky vocal melodies. Abel sounds amazing on it. I loved this, and I love the follow-up single Blinding Lights. I so cannot wait for the new album. This was what I needed in a boring musical year like 2019. So yeah, that's the 62 Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 songs, in my opinion, from like worst to best, but again, not objectively because I'm not an objective critic. So yeah, what were your favorite and least favorite Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 songs? Again, if there are songs on here that I love that you hated, that's totally fine. You can tell me why, and I think I understand why for a lot of these, but regardless, what did you think of this year's Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 tracks? Did you think it was an exciting year, a boring year? Whatever your thoughts are, just leave them down in the comments. Let's keep this civil and have some fun. If you guys want to hit like and subscribe, thank you, but if not, I am no beggar, so don't worry about it. And the next list that you guys will be seeing is the albums I hated in 2019. Then right after that, it will be the albums that I loved in 2019. And then I will hibernate for a few days until 2020 begins, and then I'll be back with new videos. So stay tuned for that, but until then, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.